The Indian Miss World, and the Rage of Muslims of the World. This book continues the story of the Arab sugar daddy and the beautiful Indian girl, and also the story of the Indian child bride and the old Arab husband. They have been written in English and translated into Arabic by the author Dr. Ahmed. This story resonates with genuine love, strong resilience, and steadfast courage. I invite you to accompany me as I continue narrating the story of the rare, fabulous beauty of the Indian girl, Ifat Khan, and her extremely beautiful mother, Rehana Khan. Before we dive in the tapestry of the story, I would like to remind the reader this novel is narrated in 6 books. 1. The Arab Sugar Daddy and the Beautiful Indian Girl. 2. The Indian Child Bride and the Old Arab Husband. 3. The Indian Miss World and the Rage of Muslims of the World. 4. Christina and the Complete Jew. 5. The Tears of God, Jews, Blacks, and Muslim Women. And 6. The Hidden Life of the Prophet Muhammad. This is an intriguing epic story which exhibits resilience, love, and sacrifice. Book 3. From a Slum Girl to the Queen of the World Beauty. Copyright. All rights are reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means without the prior written permission of the author except by a reviewer, who may quote brief passages from a review for printing in a public newspaper, general magazine, school journal, or university article. All characters in this novel are fictional and any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, is merely coincidental. Chapter 16. The New Gandhi of Bollywood. Vijay Singh is also known as Mahatma Gandhi in Bollywood. He was born and brought up as a devout Sikhman, but he believes that all religions are equally true. Therefore, he respects the followers of all faiths in his Indian society. He believes that there are good and bad people in all religions. He is greatly influenced by the doctrine of ahimsa, non-violence, which was taught by the father of the Indian nation Mahatma Gandhi, who borrowed it from the teachings of the Lord Jesus Christ in the Sermon on the Mountain. He is also influenced by the religion of the Lord Buddha. Lastly, he believes in the philosophy of the contemporary Indian philosopher, Swami Vivekananda, who taught that all religions are equally true. According to him, there is no such thing as a false religion. This teaching most probably was borrowed from the Baha'i faith. Baha'u'llah, the Glory of God, was the title taken by Mirza Hussain Ali Nuri, who is regarded as the founder and central figure of the Baha'i faith. Baha'u'llah was a Persian religious leader, and the founder of the Baha'i faith, which advocates universal peace and unity among all races, nations, and religions. In any case, Mr. Vijay Singh used to work as a high school teacher before he retired and joined Bollywood. He took on various side roles in many different movie productions. He always landed the role of the father or grandfather of the hero or heroine in the movie. His onstage charisma also cast him as a teacher in many movies. He has an outstandingly pleasant personality that helped him to fit into any supporting role. Vijay Singh refused to play any malicious character or villain. He said and believed that it is against his ethics to be a bad person or portray an evil character in a film, no matter how much money is offered to do so. He earned the honorable title of the Gandhi of Bollywood because he had been cast in the role of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, a few times. Vijay Singh inherited nothing from his late father except a beautiful house in the wealthy neighborhood of Bandstand in the Bandra area. Only film actors and directors and wealthy Indian can afford to buy houses and live in that opulent area. Vijay is devoted to his father's memory and believes that the house holds the essence and spirit of his late father, Mr. Singh. As such, the house is not for sale at any price. The Gandhi of Bollywood loved his wife to distraction and worshipped her. Bone cancer took her away from him when she was at the age of 70. He was 73 at the time. In Hinduism, the wife is supposed to treat her husband as her god and worship him. It is quite the opposite in Islam, where the woman is considered to be a walking and talking Satan and inferior to the men because she is deficient in intellect and religion. Mr. Vijay and his late wife have only one child, a son. His son is married to a woman of a different faith. Vijay Singh was not happy about the match between his son and his girlfriend but told his son that he had no objections to the marriage if the girl's parents gave their blessings and accepted a husband to their daughter from a different religion. However, the girl's parents stood strongly against the marriage of their daughter due to religious differences and insisted that their religion forbids them to allow their daughter to marry an infidel Sikh. In the end, the girl disobeyed her father and married her Sikh boyfriend. She even sent her father and 2 brothers to jail when they tried to separate her from her husband by force. She is a Muslim girl by birth. She loves her Islamic religion and refuses to change her faith to being a Sikh girl. But she had no objection to marrying her Sikh boyfriend without trying to force him to embrace Islam. This Vijay Singh's son is known as Ajay Singh. Ajay, like his father, has only one son with his Muslim wife. His wife's greatest desire is to leave India and migrate to Australia. She has a married Muslim sister who immigrated 5 years ago with her Muslim husband and 3 children, and they settled in Sydney City. She fell in love with Western life when she visited her sister in Sydney. She changed a lot during her 6-month visit to Australia. When the Muslim wife of Ajay Singh returned to her homeland, she began to criticize India and now considers Mumbai the filthiest city in the entire world. Whenever she steps out of her house, she puts a handkerchief across her face to mask her nose from the filth and pollution of the reprehensible cosmopolitan city. Ever since her return from the West, she has been nagging her husband day and night to emigrate to Australia. Ultimately, Ajay Singh succumbed to the pressure of his Muslim wife and agreed to go to the Australian consulate to apply for immigrant visas for his family. Nevertheless, his father Vijay Singh is against the idea of his son leaving him all alone in India and emigrating to Australia. He has neither relatives nor close surviving friends in Mumbai. Most of his old friends died and his relatives had immigrated to either Western countries or moved to rich Arab countries. Despite that, the son rejected the counsel of his father and listened to his wife. Even so, his application has been rejected because Ajay does not meet the criteria for immigrating to the promised land of his Muslim wife. His wife too cannot qualify because she is a grade 5 dropout and can neither speak nor read nor write in English. She knows only Urdu and Hindi. But the stubborn Muslim wife insisted they reapply on an economic basis. For Ajay Singh to immigrate to Australia as a businessman, he must have at least 1,750,000 Indian rupees in his bank account, which equals 25,000 American dollars. This amount has to be shown as US dollars to the immigration department upon the family's arrival in Sydney, or they will be denied entry and sent back to their country of origin. In addition, business immigrants are barred from remitting funds out of Australia for 5 years. So, even if they borrowed this amount from a bank or someone, they know they would not be able to repay it for at least 5 years. No bank in Mumbai would give a loan without holding some personal assets such as a house against the funds it gives. For months, Ajay's Muslim wife tried to get him to persuade her father-in-law to sell his house. It is the easiest way to raise the funds needed. After much harassment and nagging, Ajay agreed to talk to his father about selling his house. When Vijay Singh heard the words of his son, he threatened to kick him and his family out of his house. Until then, Ajay, his wife, and his son lived under Vijay Singh's roof. Multi-generational homes are the cultural norm, and in India, they are called joint families. When the father-in-law rejected the son's request, his Muslim wife took offense. In her anger, a devilish idea crept into her mind. She told her husband that he had to kill his father for standing in their way for a better life. Ajay Singh rebuked his bad wife and strongly rejected her evil designs. However, that does not stop her from nagging him to execute the plan for the next 2 years. She knows that her husband is the sole heir. Whenever they argued, Ajay reminded his wife that his father could die anytime and that they must allow nature to take its course. As the years rolled by, the father, as it seemed to the daughter-in-law, is starting to look like he may live forever. Finally, the Muslim wife threatened to forsake her Sikh husband, take her son, and get a divorce. Then she will find another understanding of the men to get married to him. This last threat forced Ajay's hand. When the son agreed to accelerate the chain of events and kill his father, Mr. Vijay Singh was 85 years, 5 months, and extremely healthy. His morning routine started with a rigorous walk by the seaside. He actively took side-acting roles. Ajay's wife told her husband that his father was going to live for another 20 years if they did not arrange for his murder. Finally, the wicked woman convinced her husband to arrange the murder of his father so that he could inherit the house, sell it, and fulfill her life's dream of migrating to her promised land, Australia. Chapter 17. The Evil Spirit of the Muslim Wife, Jezebel. Killing parents for the sake of inheriting their property or wealth isn't all that rare in Indian society. Usually, the murderer is a third party, which allows the culprit to build a rock-solid alibi or plausible denial, hence escaping prosecution. As is the norm for matters of this nature, being instigated by his evil wife, Ajay Singh approached a dangerous gang leader and discussed the satanic plot with him. The notorious Ganda agreed to his evil scheme and demanded a 25% share of the house market value. Ajay accepted the deal and gave the dangerous Ganda the green light for the murder of his father. According to the assassination plan, Ajay, his Muslim wife, and their son should be away from the house at the time of the murder. The assassination of the Gandhi of Bollywood will point to a botched burglary, leaving the police to assume that the old man was killed while he was trying to apprehend the burglars. In this way, in death, the old man will gain honor in the public eye as opposed to dishonor in passing away at the hands of his son. Before commencement, the Ganda requested a token of his agreement. He required a recording of the son's instructions to kill his father as a deposit on his share of 25% equity in the old man's house. Ajay reluctantly recorded his instructions and handed them over. The day soon arrived, and Ajay took his wife Jezebel and son to Lonavala city for the weekend, soaking in the beautiful mountain tourist destination. The evil conspiracy worked out as it was planned, and Gandhi of Bollywood was discovered dead in his house by his son, daughter-in-law, and grandson. When the police arrived, the cause of the death of Mr. Vijay Singh was presumed to be a homicide. At the hospital, it appeared that the father had been murdered 2 days prior. The cause of his death is internal bleeding to the head due to a powerful strike by a sharp metal object. The police dusted for fingerprints and could match one of the prints on the scene to a well-known felon, a notorious Ganda known as Kalia. This Kalia is a larger-than-life personality who gave the people of Mumbai city and her police force real nightmares. Kalia in Hindi means a black person, and the notorious criminal is as black as the night. His life story was portrayed by the evergreen Bollywood superstar Amitabh Bachchan. Kalia's real name was Anthony. He was born and grew up in the Khar Road neighborhood. He was raised by his Christian parents who moved from Goa city to Mumbai city many years ago before he was born. Once Kalia's hand in the murder became public knowledge, the notorious criminal decided that he was due more money and demanded a 50% share of the booty. At first, Ajay refused Kalia's demands, giving in only when threatened with the murder of his wife and son. The house is sold for 7 crores or 70 million Indian rupees, which is equivalent to $100,000. Kalia received his 3,500,000 Indian rupees share in cash. After that, Ajay Singh applied to emigrate with an Australian business visa. It did not take long for his application to be approved, and he emigrated to a new life with his Muslim wife Jezebel Noor al-Din and their only son Imran Singh. Whenever Ajay feels remorse for his evil action of murdering his father, he berates his wicked Muslim wife Jezebel and reminds her that she was the instigator of the plot to kill his father. She, on the other hand, returns the favor and reminds him that for her un-Islamic matrimonial union with an unclean infidel like him, she had sent her Muslim father and 2 brothers to jail. That is the way the Gandhi of Bollywood had been sent to the grave by his son, who had been instigated by the spirit of his evil Muslim wife, Jezebel Noor al-Din. At any rate, the rich family who bought the house inherited much of Vijay Singh's possessions. His son Ajay told the new owners that whatever stuff is left in the house by his deceased father, they can either use it or throw it in the garbage container. The bad son Ajay and his evil Muslim wife Jezebel are in a great hurry to go to their promised land and have no time to waste trying to get rid of old stuff left behind by their victim. There are beds, mattresses, chairs, tables, and a cupboard full of Bollywood movies and classical books. The new owners threw everything away except the cupboard. They are happy to give the movies acted in by the Gandhi of Bollywood a place in their sweet new home. Randomly, whenever they have free time, the new heirs will select and play a movie from their huge collection of the late Mr. Vijay Singh movies and enjoy watching it for free. One day, the wife of the new owner happened to be all alone with her husband away at work in the Lokhandwala complex in the Andheri neighborhood. She decided to watch a movie and search the cupboard for something engaging. She came across a video titled Private and Confidential. The title of the movie drew her attention and piqued her curiosity. An avid movie buff, she could not remember any movie released with that odd name. She picked it up and placed it on the video player. Then she returned to her comfortable couch and reclined. With the remote in her right hand, the woman of the house pressed play. Instead of seeing the opening credits and the names of the actors and the producers of the movie, she saw the director himself holding a whip in his right hand and whipping and lashing the backside of a beautiful young girl. Both the director and the young heroine are completely buck naked. She cannot believe her eyes when she recognized the old man who is mercilessly beating and raping the young girl. Up to that point, he has been her favorite film director in India. He is the greatest Bollywood film director, Mahmood Khan. She also recognized the young girl as the Iranian heroine Aphrodite Khan because of the media coverage of her recent sex scandal and the court case against Mahmood Khan in which she tried to condemn him for her kidnap and rape crimes, but she failed, and he turned the table on her and sent her behind bars instead of him. The Hindu wife immediately contacted her husband and informed him about her shocking discovery. She asked him to come to the house as soon as possible. When her Hindu husband arrived, she made him watch the sadistic rape of Aphrodite Khan by her kidnapper and detainer, Mahmood Khan. The couple knows that if Mahmood Khan came to know that they have such a condemning video in their possession, he would not hesitate to send Gandas to murder them. They also become afraid that if they give the video to the police, Mahmood Khan may be notified by the corrupt police department of Mumbai, and they will find their home raided or yet burned to the ground with them in it. Therefore, the husband suggested that they should destroy the video and close that chapter forever. However, his wife balked at his suggestion and insisted that they send the video to the Hindu female director Rani Krishna because she is the one who stood with the young Iranian heroine and helped her in her time of need. But the Hindu female director could not stop the innocent Iranian girl from being condemned by the Mumbai Criminal Court for the character defamation of Mahmood Khan and went to jail for 1 year. Obliging his wife, as always, the husband contacted Rani Krishna on an especially important personal matter concerning the young heroine, Aphrodite Khan. They are at once invited to Rani's house and reveal information to her about the video that they had discovered accidentally in the cupboard of the late Mr. Vijay Singh. When Rani Krishna watched the video, she could not believe that a human being could be so evil as torture an innocent teenage girl in such a cruel way to satisfy his animalistic lust. When she heard the story from Aphrodite of how she was raped, she did not think it had been done in such a sadistic and painful manner. Her anger towards Mahmood Khan reached beyond her ability to control herself. She decided to expose him publicly before sending him to prison forever or to the gallows to be hanged by his genitals. She contacted Stink News immediately and told them about the video. But she said to the news broadcast that she would not hand over the video to them unless they agreed to live airtime without any editing. The Stink News readily agreed. They promised her that they would not even watch it and that they would air it directly on a live TV show. It is 7 o'clock in the evening when the Stink News surprised the entire city of Mumbai with the incredible special, sex, lies, brutal rape, sheer evil, and videotape. While the video was playing, many people called the Stink News TV channel station and requested they stop airing the recorded sex abuse and torture. Some people argued that the airing of the video violated the guidelines of restricted material appropriate for the airwaves and privacy laws. Even the Mumbai police called and ordered Stink News to stop airing the video. Despite that, Stink News refused to stop airing the unedited video. When the police reached the studio, the video had already ended. That video turned the city of Mumbai upside down. Chapter 18. The unpaid high-profile prostitute in Indian prison. In the meantime, the Iranian heroine Aphrodite Khan believes that jail is the place where bad people who are called criminals are to be imprisoned, tortured, and killed. She is still under the impression that her late mother Rehana Khan had been stoned to death inside a Jeddah women's jail because she did something awfully bad. It is her evil Saudi husband who told her that her bad mother got killed by the police inside the jail for her ugly crimes of polyandry, which she married 3 men at the same time, stole their monies, and ran away from them, but she got arrested in his house while she was fornicating with her husband number 3. Aphrodite Khan also learned from Rani Krishna that her late Saudi husband was murdered inside the Mumbai jail because he did something evil to an 11-year-old girl from Hyderabad city. But Rani did not say exactly what evil act the despicable old geezer had done to the underage Indian girl Amina Hyder Ali. Therefore, when she was convicted of the false charge and sentenced to 12 months in prison, Aphrodite Khan correctly assumed that she was not going to come out alive or unharmed. She concluded that she was going to be beaten up and killed by the Indian police. Beginning the first week she spent in jail, she had reason to worry. Her fears are confirmed. First of all, because she is from Bollywood and already known as an actress and heroine, the jail authority told her that she must be kept in solitary confinement and not allowed to mix with other female inmates for her protection. Accordingly, she is kept in an isolated cell as if she is carrying a contagious disease such as coronavirus and is not allowed to congregate with other female inmates. But soon she discovered some bad female guards have some different evil schemes in mind. One day, 2 female guards came to her cell and led her out of her dungeon in the middle of the night. She is told it has to do with a police investigation. Innocently, she believed them and went with them. Then they took her in their police jeep while she was securely handcuffed, and her feet chained in fetters. The 2 policewomen took Aphrodite Khan to someone's farmhouse. As soon as she was brought in, she saw a man with a big stomach and a bald head, dressed in casual civilian clothes. Aphrodite was surprised to see both the 2 policewomen saluting the men and noisily shouting something in unintelligible English and stamping their feet. The man stood up from his couch and greeted her by saying, "Welcome to my humble abode, Miss Bollywood." After that, the 2 policewomen left the room and left her with their commander. At first, Aphrodite does not understand why the policewomen left and why they brought her to meet the men. But when the man stretched out his arms and surrounded her body and began forcefully to kiss her mouth and lick her lips like a mad dog, she understood that she has been brought there to be raped by him all night long. She tried to free herself, but she could not. The man is big and tall and much stronger than her. He continued to forcefully kiss her and touch her all over her body. Aphrodite could smell a strong odor coming from his dirty mouth. She understood he was drunk. She recollected that whenever her Indian captor Mahmud Khan wanted to perform his ritualistic rape and sadistic abuse, he would drink and become meaner than mean. Aphrodite still believes that the male will beat and torture the female more if she refuses to allow him to have sex with her. Therefore, because of the fear of being beaten and tortured by the strongman, she submitted her body to him and allowed him to impose his strong will on her surrendered body. That night, the men with the big belly raped Aphrodite many times until he finally fell asleep atop her body. Early in the morning, the same 2 wicked female guards came back and took her to the jail, and locked her up inside her solitary cell. One of the 2 corrupt women told her that if she complained to anyone, they would send someone to come and kill her inside her cell, and then they would take her corpse and dump it in a hole somewhere in the jungle of Maharashtra state. After a few days, the same 2 evil female guards came to her cell again at night and took her to another top police officer's private residence on the outskirts of Mumbai. Although he does not get drunk, he is like the other big and tall men and raped her repeatedly until morning. Once again, the 2 female police guards retrieved her in the morning and took her back to her cell with the same warning. Within 3 months, Aphrodite Khan has been raped by 6 top police officers and 3 MPs from the government of Maharashtra. All 9 rapists used condoms because none of them wanted to make her pregnant with his baby. Every one of them knew that, if she was to get pregnant with a child, he could be identified through his DNA if subjected to a paternity test. Most of them expected that other big police personnel and members of parliament might be interested in having sex with the beautiful sexy Iranian heroine too. Therefore, each one of them is afraid to contract a sexually transmitted disease by sleeping with the so-called unpaid waif of Bollywood. After 3 months, the Bollywood female prisoner, Aphrodite Khan, received a transfer order. According to the order, she is supposed to be transferred from the Mumbai Women's Jail to the Pune Women's Central Prison. The order is placed on the very same day. Aphrodite is accompanied by 2 female guards and 1 male officer who is driving the police vehicle. She has been handcuffed, and her feet have been chained together. On her way to Pune, the police truck took her to a farmhouse. It is the same house she was imprisoned in for many months. When she saw her former evil captor, she thought that he was going to kill her for her daring to take him to court and tell the public and the criminal court what he had done to her in his farmhouse. Mahmud Khan mocked Aphrodite and said to her, "Now look at you. You left the men who saved you from that Saudi old dog who abused you from the age of 7, and I made you a shining star in Bollywood. You rewarded me with evil for my good. I took you out of your ugly black Islamic burqa and dressed you in the most beautiful dresses in Mumbai. I had made you a shining film actress and made millions of Indian fans worship you. If you are still my second halal Muslim wife, you would have become by now a billionaire 19-year-old young girl. You left me and went and listened to that fucking Hindu slut. What did she give you? She has placed you in a rotten Indian jail cell. Inside the Mumbai jail, you have become an unpaid prostitute. You are now like a dirty public toilet that every uncircumcised Hindu police officer urinates inside your dirty chut or pussy. What is better for you, to live in a palace of gold and be the wife of the greatest, richest man in Mumbai, or to stay in a filthy Hindu dungeon and be the unpaid waif of Bollywood? Do you know why they are transferring you now from the Mumbai jail to Pune Central Prison? It is because some fucking Hindu politicians in Pune want to rape you too. Every uncircumcised Hindu infidel in the police department and the government of Maharashtra wants to fuck you up for free. Have you gotten paid for being fucked by them? Can you stop them from urinating in your dirty pussy? They have made your pussy quite big that it can fuck a man's leg and smells like a filthy cesspool. The evil man paused and looked for a response from Aphrodite. When she remained silent, he continued to pour the filth out of his mouth to satisfaction. The filthiest prostitute on Ferris Road has more guts and honor than you because she would not allow any man to fuck her if he does not pay her price first. You are the only unpaid waif in Mumbai. If you are a true Muslim girl, you would have killed yourself from the first day you got raped by the fucking head of the Criminal Investigation Department, Mr. Rao Arora. You only opened your legs and allowed that filthy Hindu man to fuck you in his farmhouse throughout the night without resisting or fighting or screaming for help. Then he spread the word around his corrupt circle of friends. So now, every one of them wants you in his bed to fuck you for free every night he wishes to do it. Do you think if you were still in my house and under my protection any one of them could dare to touch even your finger? Of course not. Mahmud Khan paused again and looked sternly at her face. Then he raised his voice loudly to make himself clearer. Let me tell you one thing. I could have killed you inside that fucking women's jail if I wanted to do it. I could have put poison in your food or sent a female guard to kill you inside your solitary cell. I could have paid 20,000 rupees to the nurse there and gotten you injected with the HIV or coronavirus. I did none of these for only one reason, because you are a Muslim girl. Moreover, I could have paid 50,000 rupees to some of my friends in the police department to implicate you in a serious crime. I could have kept you in jail forever if I wanted to. But I have decided to punish you more badly for humiliating me before those accursed Hindu infidels. I have already paid some important lawmen in the Mumbai Police Department and made them promise me they will deport you to Iran as soon as you complete your one-year term inside that filthy Indian jail. Let that fucking Hindu whore Rani Krishna stop you from returning to that primitive and backward Iranian society from where you came. Do you know what is going to happen to you when you reach Tehran? You will have no one, no family, or anyone to take care of you. You are still childish and a very dumb girl. You are going to become a hooker on the streets of Tehran. You will either die like a stray bitch on the streets of Tehran or be sentenced by a judge of a Sharia court to be stoned to death for being a prostitute. Go back to where the men like to beat women just for walking down the street with nothing on their heads or their niqabs accidentally fell off their faces. After lecturing her and filling her heart with indescribable fears, Mahmud Khan once again raped Aphrodite Khan in a very painful and cruel way. He has not asked the two corrupt policewomen who brought her to him to remove the handcuffs and chains from her hands and legs. He just pushed her to the ground and began to beat and rape her in front of them. This time, he slapped and kicked her as if she was not a human being like him. He used a stick instead of a whip and hammered her body mercilessly. He is full of exceedingly uncontrolled rage. He used her body to appease his bitter hatred and reckless anger before he raped her. It is the most painful sexual abuse she has ever been subjected to in all her miserable life. She thought that he was going to beat her to death. She screamed to the top of her voice and begged for mercy, but no one dared rescue her from the devil incarnate or the firstborn son of Satan. She cried and cried until she lost her voice. The evil one continued his abuse and rape until she lost consciousness. She is nothing more to him than a punching bag to beat as much as he wants. Chapter 19. The demise of the notorious Muslim sex sadist. When she regained consciousness, Aphrodite Khan found herself once again inside the back of a police wagon. She is bleeding copiously while her hands and feet are securely chained to her seat. She thought that she had some kind of horrifying nightmares. However, the terrible pain in her body and private parts made her remember her brutal rape and torture by her former Indian captor, Mahmud Satan Khan. She is breathing with much difficulty. When the police wagon reached Pune Women's Central Prison, the two female guards informed the jail authority that the imprisoned Iranian girl tried to run away from them when they stopped for lunch at the Kandala City food shacks while they were halfway between Mumbai and Pune. She went to the women's washroom and jumped out of the broken back window, but they caught her while she was escaping. For that reason, they battered her mercilessly to subdue her and prevent her from running away from them. Aphrodite Khan has been taken directly to the hospital, and she is admitted into the intensive care unit. Her body is seriously injured from bruising and abrasions from head to toe. She lost so much blood due to her profusely continuous bleeding. They have to administer a blood transfusion to her dying body through an 4-syringe needle attached to her left hand to save her life. She remained in the hospital for 2 weeks before the doctors declared her physically fit to be returned to prison. As Mahmud Khan had prophesied, her stay in Pune is plagued with politicians and top police officers. Each one of them has his way with her and repeatedly raped for free the so-called high-profile prostitute, the lovely Iranian heroine. The so-called unpaid Bollywood waif spent 3 months in Pune Women's Central Prison before she was transferred back to her former Mumbai Women's Jail. During those 3 months, she got raped by 3 political party leaders and 5 top police officers. When she was brought back to Mumbai, some of her former rapists demanded that she be brought back to their houses for nightly visits, and the vicious rapes of the lovely unpaid prostitute of Bollywood have started all over again. While Aphrodite Khan is going through her hell in the Mumbai and Pune women's jails, her second wicked captor and rapist Mahmud Khan has completely forgotten about her and is at ease with how matters have been resolved. He felt great relief after thoroughly releasing his anger on her body the night she was delivered to his farmhouse. He knew that he had already bribed several top police officers and made them promise to arrange for her deportation out of India as soon as she completed her 12 months in jail. He has also found a young, beautiful 19-year-old Hindu girl who agreed to be his secret mistress with the promise to make her a film star in Bollywood. Moreover, he concluded that his evil blackmailer has become satisfied with the 300 million Indian rupees that he had deposited in his bank account and destroyed the incriminating videos of his sadistic rape with the fucking Iranian slut. In addition, he paid 15 crores of rupees to 3 qualified doctors in the best hospitals in Mumbai for the rescue of his criminal son Javed Khan. Each one of them follows a different religion. One is a Hindu man, the second is a Buddhist, and the last one is a Christian doctor. He avoided bribing a Muslim doctor because he did not want anyone in the police department or the criminal court or among the media people or the public to think the Mohammedan doctor saved his Muslim son due to religious favoritism and biases. As a consequence, his murderous son has been declared by those corrupt 3 doctors mentally unsound and killed the rival lover of his beloved girlfriend due to his extreme love obsession with his Muslim fiancée. Therefore, he is legally not liable for the murder he committed in broad daylight and hence incapable of standing trial. He has been transferred to a mental hospital to spend the rest of his life as a madman. Mahmud Khan felt great relief when his idiot and dangerous sex pervert son was kept away from social life and safely imprisoned in a mental asylum under lock and key. He does not worry about now and then spending millions of rupees to save him from his embarrassing sex scandals and hideous crimes. Meanwhile, his innocent victim, the Iranian heroine Aphrodite Khan, has completed 11 months inside the hellish prison of rape and abuse. She has only 1 month left to go, and then she will be deported to Iran and her name will be blacklisted, so she cannot return to India forever. Therefore, the former slum girl Ifat Khan is not to be allowed by the Indian government to return to her motherland where she was born and brought up until she was 7 years old. Her evil Indian captor and his first Muslim wife had paid a lot of money to get the so-called unpaid dirty prostitute of Bollywood off the Indian soil and bar her entry again. Her blacklisted name is going to be shown on computers in all Indian embassies and consulates all over the world. In addition, her name Ifat Khan and her alias name Aphrodite Khan are going to be entered into every computer in all international airports and local ports all over India. Mahmood Khan has been assured by those top bribed police personnel even the Prime Minister of India may not be able to get the Iranian slut back to her fatherland. At any rate, one particular evening, Mahmood Khan happened to be at his mansion on his farmhouse with his new young Hindu mistress when someone called his cell phone. He is reclining on a summer chair by the swimming pool while his lovely new mistress is swimming in her sexy black bikini. He is just putting on his Playboy underwear. He is drinking his favorite Kingfisher beer while eating his peanut snack. He picked up his cell phone and looked at the number. He recognized the number as the cell phone of one of his former girlfriends out of Bollywood. She is now a middle-aged lady who used to be one of his secret Muslim wives when she was a teenager. She is a Muslim woman by birth. She is the one who hooked him up with his present young Hindu female lover. So, he switched on his cell phone and said happily, "Hello, Mrs. Sajida Hussain. Something terrible is showing on TV, Mr. Mahmood Khan, that you should be aware of. Switch on the TV and go to channel 13. Before the frantic call came, Mahmood Khan was enjoying his pre-sex beer while looking at his lovely 19-year-old sex female toy. Before he could find out more, his ex-girlfriend disconnected the line. Temporarily interrupted and amused by the frantic phone call, but knowing that his former girlfriend would not call him on his private cell phone number unless it was an especially important matter, he decided to allow a few minutes to satisfy his curiosity. The voice on the phone sounded adamant. He thought that he might see the airing of some nasty Bollywood sex scandal, which may make good material for gossip later on. He left his lovely mistress playing in the pool and went into his bedroom flicking on the 75-inch widescreen TV. It is the same room where his former 18-year-old innocent victim Ifat Khan was sexually abused, raped, beaten, and tortured while she was imprisoned for over a year. Nothing has changed except its lovely new female victim occupant. Flicking through the channels, the greatest Bollywood film director eventually came across channel 13, home to the controversial Stink News TV. It is the same video he has paid 300 million Indian rupees to prevent its circulation and to facilitate its permanent destruction. He began to shake and sweat, looking at himself naked on the screen with a long whip in his right hand. He is flogging and slashing the naked body of his former innocent female sex captive Ifat Khan, who is screaming with loud shrills from the terrible pain he is inflicting upon her delicate body. His private parts are fully exposed, and his phallus is standing like an old rusty metal rod stuck to his hairy body. Ifat's young and sexy breasts are jumping up and down like inflated balloons with every strike of the long whip against her naked body. Her private parts are completely uncovered and her black pubic hair around her genitals can be seen too. She is sweating from head to foot. Her long black hair is falling loosely everywhere on her buck-naked body. There are drops of blood falling from her shoulders, back, and buttocks. Even her pussy is copiously bleeding as if he has been stabbed by a big dagger. She is shouting from the terrible agony that he is inflicting upon her. A few minutes later, when the pretty young Hindu girl heard the powerful gunshot, she was still paddling in the warm water of the swimming pool. She thought that someone was trying to shoot and kill her. Swiftly she came out of the water and ran to the bedroom. She found the greatest Bollywood director flailing on the floor with a pool of blood forming around his head. Terrified, she bolted out of the room shouting, "Someone has shot Mahmoodji, someone has killed Mr. Mahmood Khan." All his security guards, servants, maidservants, and kitchen staff heard her words and came running to the bedroom. they found Mahmud Khan lying on the floor and blood splattered over a large area near his head. One of the Muslim guards picked up the cell phone of his unconscious master immediately and called the police. When the Lonavala police arrived, they found the greatest of all Bollywood film directors lying dead in his bedroom. The cause of death has been recorded by the police as a suicide from a bullet fired at point-blank range. The bullet entered his brain from the right side, riddled his brain, and exited the cranium in the center of the left side, killing him instantly. Consequently, the greatest film director in the Bollywood film industry has killed himself by shooting his head with his licensed pistol. The cause of his suicide at this time is unknown to his security guards and servants and the police authority. The case is open to police investigations in Mumbai and Lonavala.